So this video might just come out harsh, but there's no other way I can say what I'm about to say in this video. So yeah, I didn't want to make this type of video because it could come out negative depending on who takes in this message, right? However, after this situation that happened about a few days ago, I decided to make this video. And usually when it comes to these type of situations, I've learned to ignore things. Like, people are going to think what they want. They're going to say however they feel, like nobody gotta like you and all that other stuff. But yeah, I learned to ignore those type of situations and people. But after what happened this past week, I'm like, you know what? I think I need to make this video because there are other women that are going through this type of situation, not just me. And the situation that I'm talking about is pretty privileged. Let me start off with this. Do I think I am the best thing since life's bread? No. Do I think that I am better than everybody else? No. However, I'm very confident in myself, and I know not everybody is going to find someone like me attractive, right? Everybody has different tastes when it comes to beauty. So there are going to be people who are attracted to someone like me, and then there's going to be people who aren't. It is what it is. So I'm not saying, I'm not putting myself on this trope of pretty privilege. However, after hearing stories of women that go through these pretty privileges and all this other stuff, I found it very interesting that we share the same stories. So I'm like, I guess I do go through pretty privilege or whatever. So yeah, but I do not think that I'm better than anybody else. So whoever comes across these videos and thinks like, oh, they think they're all that, whatever, whatever, that's not the case. That's how y'all think, and y'all project that on women like us, and that's an issue. This lady at my job, she is, never seen her before. I work in a big ass workplace. So many people come and go. I haven't met every last person at this job, but this past week I met this lady, and she is very pretty. I remember seeing her and I was like, oh wow, she's pretty. She's mixed like myself. Um, she says she's what, like Arawak, Indian, Caribbean, Spanish, white, Black American. Like, she's super mixed, like how I'm mixed. However, the only difference is that she has like a looser curl pattern of mine, and she's dark skinned. But she has like these features that make her, I guess, exotic looking. And although she's very pretty, she walks around with basically a cloud over her head. She looks very gray in the face, very drained out, and it's to the point where I think it's a good thing that she's reading self-care books and reading certain things, trying to figure out why people treat her a certain way. I'm glad she's reading books like that. But I'm like, if this girl doesn't get some guidance now, or a little bit of encouraging conversations thrown her way, she might, do something to harm herself. And that was the whole reason why I decided, you know what, let me make this video, because I've been there. I know what it's like. And although I'm not going to explain her situation, like, I'm not going to put nobody's business out there, I will talk about mine just a little bit. So when it comes to pretty privilege, people think that attractive people have this halo effect, and they get everything thrown their way. You get doors open for you. You get people, I don't know, giving you free vacations, whatever the case may be. Like, people think that everything comes easy to a person who is attractive. On the flip side, if even that's the case, on the flip side, everything comes with a price. These people who are super nice to you and giving you things and opening doors for you. I mean, people should just open doors anyway. It's just a nice thing to do. But if I'm only going off of what I hear from people who talk down on attractive people, um, I'm going off of things that I've seen on YouTube, people making pretty privileged videos talking down on pretty women. So I'm going off of what y'all said. But, if that's the case, everything comes with a price. These people who are being super nice to you usually want something out of you. And that's happened to me so many times. Guys who are super nice, they're trying to get something out of you. Girls who are super nice, they're usually trying to like get close to you so they can figure out a way to destroy you, basically. So, or get something out of you as well. But it's people are not super friendly just to be super friendly and not expect anything back. So for everybody who keeps saying you guys got this halo effect and you guys get everything thrown your way, for y'all to say that and y'all not even in these, I'm gonna talk about women specifically because I don't know, I'm not a guy, I'm not on the attractive man side, I'm on the woman's side of the spectrum. So I'm just gonna speak about just women alone. Y'all do not walk in these women's shoes to even know what they go through. And everything that seems all, sweet and dandy on one end from y'all lens doesn't mean that it's sweet and dandy over here. And talking to this girl at my job, she, even though certain people are treating her a certain way, spreading rumors. I've been there where I've hung with a group of girls who I thought were my friends, and next thing you know, they're spreading rumors about me that's not even true. It could be based off of, there's some cases where guys, they'll talk to me, they're just being friendly, just being nice, whatever. I have no idea that some of these girls have crushes on these guys, whatever. They get jealous, they spread rumors, these two are fucking, this and that, and third, whatever. Like, I've been there. So I've learned to cut those type of women off. But this girl at my job, she loves to be around people. And she's basically a people pleaser. And even though certain people have done her wrong, she still wants to say good things about them. And I don't know why they treat me like this. And I find them just as beautiful too, and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like the advice that I want to give her, she's not ready for it because I'm already on the dark side of the moon when it comes to all this stuff. I feel like if I say how I feel directly to her, she might just be like, you are so cruel. But in this world that we live in, you can't walk around super duper naive to things. People are not going, some people are just not going to like you, period. And you just got to learn to accept that not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay. So many stories I could tell about with myself, but this would be a long ass video. So I'll break it to you briefly of just a few situations that I've been in. Like, there have been cases of girls back then talking shit behind my back, spreading rumors about me and all this other stuff. And little did I know that they was, insecure and jealous. But I had no idea. And I was just trying to figure out for a long time, like, why are they treating me like this? Like, I didn't do nothing to them. But I never kissed ass, though. Once I was, hip to what they was doing, I was like, oh, fuck y'all, I'm out. But it's been cases like that. It's been cases where women size me up. Men even size me up. Like, I'm not even talking about like the little guys, like the tall dudes, like the big buff dudes. They size me up all the time because they basically just want you to know that I am not, um, your beauty doesn't like scare me or whatever the case may be. So they size me up all the time. I remember one case, I was at the gym. I'm gonna just tell one story. So I was at the gym and it was empty. And I was doing squats. Now I was squatting like about 240. Now, if anybody who watches this and works out, they you should know that 240 is not lightweight. I think I was like it's like 245s on both sides and like an extra like plate. It was a while ago, but I wasn't squatting no light shit. And the squat rack that I was at, it had a pull-up bar on the top. Now, the gym that I go to, there's multiple pull-up bars. And mind you, this bitch was empty, so nobody was using these pull-up bars. Here comes this guy though. He wants to know if he can do pull-ups right above where I'm doing my squats. And I'm like, there's other empty ones open, right? So he got upset. And when I went to go do my set, as soon as I had the bar on me in the middle of my rep, he comes and jumps up and starts doing his pull-ups. Now he jumped up, so it was such a force where he was really close to my freaking ass. Like he could have one little move and I could have fell over with that weight on me. I could have fucked up my spine. Like anything could have happened. And I immediately put that bar down and I was furious. I started cursing at him. I started picking up a weight. Like I was ready to, if I was to go to jail that day, I wouldn't never cared because that guy had some nerve. And then he had the nerve to yell back at me and he mad at me. But I'm like, see, but this is the thing. Like, that's so normal in my life. And I had to get used to it. There's been cases of like growing up, coming home from school, getting followed. What else? It's like it's a long history. But people think that, oh, you'll be alright because you're pretty, right? I've heard that before. Oh, you don't want to be on the ugly side of the spectrum because no one wants you and you're ugly or whatever. At least you're pretty. The most you get is harassed. Like, what? What do you mean the most I get is harassed? That is, who wants that? I remember, like, there's cases where I'm on an escalator and a dude tries to grope up on me. I'm on the train. Dudes try to touch me. Like, that's not cool. And you gotta carry around certain things. You gotta watch your back. Just about 3 weeks ago at my job, and I get this shit all the time. Recently at my job, I walk into the restroom, and there's this girl coming out. Paint the picture. She has messy weave, long eyelashes, looks a hot mess. I'm walking in, she walks out, but she looks at me and she's kind of like she gives me this up and down stare, like, ill. And then I'm in the restroom. I hear her come back in, but this time she's on the phone. She's talking to, I don't know, whoever she's talking to, but she's like, I don't like bitches. Bitches think they all that, da, 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 whatever the case is. So I had a vibe that she was like directly saying shit about me. But let me be nice here. She could be talking about anybody else, whatever. Maybe something that happened to her. Okay, cool. I get out the stall and she jumps back because she's like right near. She was standing at my stall. And I'm like, that is creepy as fuck. Like, you was so close to me. And I didn't know I knew she was in the restroom, but I didn't know she was like up against my stall. So I get a vibe that she's trying to fight. So I'm going about my business, whatever. But I'm not leaving because I'm not walking past you and you're gonna try to yank me by my hair. Like, that's not, if you want to do something, we're gonna do something right now. So that was my attitude, and I just stood there, and she eventually left. And when I went downstairs, I was like with some guys, tall, whatever. And she was at the time clock where I usually clock out. So she sees me, she backs up into a corner. But then she comes out of her corner, she's staring at me. And I guess the person she was on the phone with, her friend, she shows up. And now she's getting all friendly with her friend and all that stuff. And I guess she must have whispered something in the girl's ear, because her and her friend started like looking at me. They was watching me the whole time. And I'm sorry, I'm trying not to make this video too long, but like I said, I got stories. So they're watching me, and I'm like, okay, let me start preparing myself for just in case something happens. Nothing happened, but the point is, I get this shit all the time. I had some girl try me the other day. I get girls who stare me up and down like crazy. And not to bring this in colorism, however, I do get a lot of that shit too. Like, the most I get, let me break it down in categories. I don't really get bad crazy vibes from like white girls or Asian girls. With Spanish girls, you do get, some shit your way, but they're really subtle with it. They won't show that they're like jealous or insecure or whatever, but they'll do other things. It's still obvious. However, with black women, they do not care. They will let you know, they will show it that they do not like you at all. I've had so many situations where I'm in the restroom, I'm fixing my hair. Just for example, now I'm talking about hair just a little bit. I'm fixing my hair because usually I would get like my curls, they'll tangle up. And if I don't untangle these knots, it's going to get worse. I'm going to have to like chop it off. So I'll just be in the bathroom, fixing my hair, whatever, like unknotting my knots, getting a little bit agitated because it's like come on now. It gets annoying. And then every once in a while, I have a girl come in. Well, a girl walk in, and she'll see me fixing my hair and automatically rolls her eyes. Like, I get girls roll their eyes all the time at me because of my hair. And not for nothing. I'd be so confused because these same girls would come to work the next day wearing my hair. Like, they'll buy these wigs or these weaves that resemble like my hair texture, and they get mad at me. And I'm like, if anything, I should be mad at y'all, because y'all be rolling your eyes at me, trying to start things, trying to size me up, da 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 da. But you're wearing my hair, and you're doing things to try to look like girls like me. And in a way, it is kind of disrespectful, because it's kind of like a clown in a way, the whole black face or stuff like that. To me, it's the same. Like, you don't like me, but you're trying to do things to look like me, and it comes out very clownish. On the flip side, I do understand that hair is just hair, and in some cases, it's fun to switch up hairstyles. It's just styles, designs, whatever the case may be. But if it comes to the point where all you're wearing is wigs and weaves that is not your hair texture, and your real hair hasn't seen daylight in so long, then that becomes more of an issue. Now it becomes more than just styling hair. It's insecurity. It's insecurity. I'm not even gonna front. It's insecurity, and yeah, there's no way around it. See, I said this video was not going to be as the message is not, it's gonna come off kind of harsh because I don't know how else to put it. Well, me, I've learned to ignore these things. Like, things happen. People are not going to like you. I'm not going to stoop to their level and become just as negative like them. All I could do is surround myself by great people, and that's that. I don't need to be liked by everyone. And I feel like what this girl is doing, she loves people so much, she wants to be around people, that she tends to kiss ass. Like, for her to try to still uplift these women, and the way they did her was so dirty, I don't understand it. And I think some of it stems from her. Like, these girls who did her dirty, they're dark skinned. What the heck? It's like every night. Anyway, so her friends, or not even her friends, these girls are dark skinned. She's dark skinned. Um, I don't know what it's like to be dark skinned because I'm light skinned. So, I'm listening to her explain her side of the field of what it's like being dark skinned and stuff like that. And I'm listening and stuff, and just letting her, talk and stuff like that. And I get it. However, just because you guys share the same complexion doesn't mean they fuck with you. No matter what, like, it's still pretty. Like, pretty is pretty. They're not gonna like you because you're pretty and you're getting the most attention, and it's not like you trying, it's not like you want it, it's just coming your way. Shit happens. Like, not everybody's going to like you, no matter the complexion, period. And I want to say all this to her, but I don't think she's ready yet. I would have to, like, ease my way into these type of conversations and just let everything I want to say unfold over time, because someone like herself or whoever may find someone like me cruel, because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. If you walk around naive trying to be nice to everyone, you're going to get hurt. Now, people, not everyone is, for the most part, everyone's neutral. You could get anyone to be nice to you. A simple hello could throw somebody off, and you'll be off their radar just for like a TD bit. Like the girl, that situation with me walking in the bathroom and her walking out. I could have easily just said hello to her, and I would probably throw her off and keep it moving. Just human nature. But, not everybody's gonna be nice to you, and I don't kiss ass. I don't. So whoever's watching this video, I'm hoping this video will eventually reach out to other women like myself. If you come across this video trying to seek help or figure out why this is happening to you, and people are saying, oh, you just got pretty privileged, get over it, and you feel like your problems might not be real problems because of what people are saying, trust me, they're problems. And it's up to you to uplift yourself and stay confident and keep it moving, because these type of people will love to see your light dim. There's been cases where I had someone tell me that they would purposely, because this person used to call me a 4 or 3. I don't even care about this fucking number scale. Like, I don't care about none of this shit at all. But from time to time, this person would always call me like a 3 or 4 or this, that. I don't give a shit. Right? But then finally, this person came out and told me that they honestly think that I'm a 10. Bro. I know, but I'm like, okay, so if you find me attractive, why was you calling me a 3 or 4 for so long? And this person was like, oh, because I didn't want you to feel cocky, so I had to constantly call you ugly, so you can be humble. Bro, when I mean I distance myself from people like them, you don't need to. I get the whole cockiness. I get, I get all that. But you don't really need to talk down to someone to humble them. That's a bad way to go about the situation. I never felt the need to talk down on someone to humble them. I can't even wrap my head around that. So I know all the tactics that people use on me. I know the tactics guys use to get me jealous or whatever the case may be. I can sense an angry bitch from a mile away, even if she doesn't show it. Yeah, so the whole main message of this video is not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. You got to keep it moving. If you try to dim your light to make them feel better, you're going to walk around with this gray face and a cloud over your head, and you're going to feel so low about yourself. Because I've been there before, to where the point is, to the point where at one point I wanted to harm myself. Not just for those reasons, not just for those reasons, but I guess it played just a little part of it. And yeah, at one point I did want to harm myself, but luckily for me, I always surround myself by people who are doing things, people that I consider like mentors and shit. I even mentor myself. Like, there's so many things that I talked myself out of or talked myself through, and got through things and read certain books, and because it's my job to keep myself afloat, because there's so many people that would try to drown you. It is unfortunate though when you have people that will say, oh, you'll be all right, you're pretty, or they don't even bother to put themselves in your shoes. They're just like, oh, you have privilege, whatever the case may be. But it's like, you have no idea. And for women who are attractive, a lot of the times they don't even go outside. That's how bad it is. Like me, if I'm not running errands, if I'm not visiting my niece or nephew, if I'm not doing certain things, I'm usually in the house. Because why? Every time I go outside, it's a problem. And I recently found out that a lot of attractive women be in the house as well. Like, it gets really crazy, and it's very unfortunate because people don't tend to look at that side of the spectrum. They just say, oh, you're pretty, get over it. And that's that. But to wrap this up, the moral of the story is, and my message for this video, like I said, not everyone is going to like you. And that is okay. And if you are someone who loves people and wants to help people and be around people, first thing first, you got to help yourself. You have to help yourself. If you can't help yourself, therefore you can't help no one else. Until you get yourself together, there's no reason to be helping the next person out. So until then, get yourself together. And once you get yourself together, still be mindful of the company you keep. The last thing you want to do is get hurt constantly, and wonder why people are doing these things to you. And at that point, it becomes your fault, because you know damn well that who you are and how people perceive you. This might happen to you. So my best advice is to just be around great people. And if you only find a few great people out of thousands of people, it's okay. You don't need to be liked by everyone. And one more thing too that I forgot to add. For people who wonder why there's times when they'll see someone super attractive, like an attractive woman, and she's with the most average looking man, and oh my god, like, how did that happen, and all this stuff. You know, when it comes to being attractive, you get a lot of shit come your way. And the last thing you want is to be with a person who brings a lot of drama, a guy who is super flashy, a guy who is about the limelight, a guy who he always wants to be seen and this and that. Like there's so many guys like that. And they only see you as like something to brag about or whatever the case may be. It's good to be with someone who understands what you're going through. So in a lot of cases, attractive women, I think, because I know I'm like this, I prefer to be with a guy who is very understanding of what I go through instead of looking at me like how everybody else looks at someone like me, like, oh, pretty privilege, or you must think you're better, da 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 da. Because there are cases where in these type of relationships you have men who would think like that and also would try to like size their own woman up and prove to the world of why, instead of, oh, how did he get with her, they rather have people look at it like, how did she get with him, like he's the man, whatever. Attractive women rather be with men who are understanding and who will protect them in their feelings. Like they won't put them in situations where they will get hurt. They won't put them, in a situation where there's a group of girls in the room and all of them don't like her. Like he wouldn't put her in that situation, like in uncomfortable situations. So, and usually it's these guys who are sometimes they're not the most attractive, they're average, whatever, but it's so comfortable to be around, and you feel like you don't have to be, you don't have to play this character around them. Like you could be yourself. So that's another advice. When whoever's single or whatever, you're looking for someone and you can't seem to find no one because of your situation and you're just super lonely, don't overlook the average looking guy or whatever, or the one who doesn't drive the most exotic cars. Sometimes you'll find yourself being happier and find yourself in a very healing place being with a guy that is the opposite of those who are flashy, if you know what I mean. But anyway, let me get out of here. I'm ranting at this point. I might make a part 2. I'm not sure. There's a lot to unfold.